He's not yet confirmed to be a playable character in the upcoming Mortal Kombat 1, but he is confirmed to be a part of your collection. It's none other than Storm Collectibles Kano, the subject of today's deceptibot9 reviews. Let's get it, mate. How's it going, everyone? deceptibot9 here, and welcome to another episode of deceptibot9 reviews. Now, before we get into the figure, I would like to ask, if you like what you see, go ahead, leave me a like on this video. Plus, if you aren't already subscribed, go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well. I'm sure we've got something here on the channel that you will enjoy. And if you want to follow me anywhere else on the internet, all of my social links are in the description down below. Now, without further ado, because I'm very excited about this figure, let's go ahead, head down to the review station to check out Storm Collectibles Kano. Alright, and here we are with Kano, everyone's favorite love-to-hate villain in Mortal Kombat, most likely, in my opinion. And I'm going to say right off the top, I wasn't expecting to like this figure as much as I do, solely because, you know, as much as we love Kano, he's never been particularly one of my favorite characters in the franchise. You know, he's one of those characters that it's like, I'm never going to go out of my way to play Kano unless it's like launch week and I'm playing through every character just to get my feel, or, you know, something like that. Like, I'm never going out of my way to pick Kano, but if we're playing random, if, you know, friends and I or whatever are playing random match and I land on Kano, I won't be upset about it. You know, that's kind of where I stand with Kano. I love his portrayal in all the movies. The original 1995 movie, Kano, is great, and the one from 2021 is great as well. So, you know, he's one of those characters in my mind. So that's why I was not anticipating to like this figure nearly as much as I do. But it's a great figure, man. I've been having so much fun messing around with him, posing him, and I can't wait to figure out how I'm going to put him on my shelf, because there's a lot of variety here with him, as you can see. As you can see, here's the overview of all of his accessories and everything. We'll get to all that in a minute. And you're, of course, taking a 360 look at him there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the details on the figure itself. Alright, coming up here, starting with the standard in-the-box head sculpt. Of course, you saw a couple others. We'll take a look at those here in a minute. But yeah, the details on the head sculpt are great. I do really like them. Of course, it's just a lot of peach skin tone color with paint here in the eyes. Doesn't really look like, maybe there is paint for the eyebrow. Oh yeah, there it is. Paint for there on the eyebrow. And it's not really showing up on camera as much as I would like it to. But in person, I think there's a little bit of facial hair scruff on him, which I never noticed on this design for Kano before. I always thought he was smooth shaven, but apparently he's got a little goatee going on there. And of course, since he's Kano, he does have his cybernetic eye, which is all painted up in silver, the mask area, and then red there for the actual eyeball itself. And then moving down, we get, of course, his sort of tunic. I believe that's what this would be. And you can see it's got all these molded wrinkles in there. It's done in an all black, of course, with this sort of red with the shimmery silver details there on the shoulder piece, as well as we got his belt where he also can shoot lasers from every once in a while, with the nice big red there in the middle with a mix of silver paint there and black. I believe the black is the mold, but you can see kind of going around, there's the little clip there, so it clips around him, and he's got, you know, pouches on all of that. And moving to the back, you can see a lot more of that molded sort of wrinkle detail, which I always really like on these cloths when they are able to do that. Moving on to the arms and such, you can see a little bit of muscle, a little bit of ab, and whatever muscle that is right there, a little bit of pec, and something there on the butterfly joint. All the muscle detail here in the arms, as always, looks tremendous with the Storm Mortal Kombat figures. Moving down on his gauntlets here, you get that more of that red with the sort of silvery scrape sheen detail, some black there. And moving down to the pants. Pants are are done in black and red with, you can see a little bit of like stretch and muscle detail in there. And of course, down to the shin guards, more of that red with the silver sheen, a little bit of black for the holsters for the knives, which are done all in silver with a little bit of black. Knife handle here, we'll take a look at those when we look at accessories, of course, but they're all black and silver and, you know, yada, yada, yada. Moving down to the feet, we've got some boot detail on here, on some shoelaces going on. Look on the side, there is, you know, boot detail, and on the bottom, more sole boot details. So Kano is nothing out of the ordinary when it comes to Storm. He looks solid all around. If I had to give one complaint about anything in terms of look, it's I wish that the top part of the cloak, I'm calling it different things now. The tunic piece sat lower because it looks a little puffy up top. And sometimes you will articulate him and it just looks, you can see it kind of like when I squeeze it, it kind of puffs up a little bit more. So I just wish it was held a little bit closer to his body, but at the end of the day, it's honestly not really that big of a deal. Yeah, so that about covers it for the details on the figure itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at all those accessories. We will start off first with all of the hands, so including the fists that are currently on him, which we saw in the opener. He has 6 total pairs of hands, which is, I always love how many hands Storm Collectibles gives with their figures, because it really gives you a lot of variety when it comes to posing and photography, and I absolutely love it. So making our way down through the stack here, you see we get these sort of relaxed open hands, I guess you would call these. All the fingers are extended, they've got a little bit of gap going on. You can see they're all just molded in, you know, typical peach skin color tone there for the hands. Then he's got a set of more flayed out open hands to use sort of for gesturing or taunting or something like that. Then, of course, as seems traditional, he, of course, has knife hands to do some chopping with whatsoever with those. He also, just because of the weapons he has, comes with a set of grip hands, so he can hold all of his knives and knife accessories. And then he comes with a sort of clawed grabbing sort of hand. I use these as kind of like my throws or a choking type hand, because Kano does a lot of chokes. And then, of course, again, as I mentioned, he does have the fists that are on him. And as per usual, the swapping the hands out is very, very easy. You just pull it off of the peg that it's on, and the hands are always done in sort of a softer, sort of gummy material, so they're super easy to slide on and off, and you will, of course, end up with whichever hands you want to have on him. So just for the purposes of some of our next accessories, I am going to put on a grippy hand for that side, and I'm gonna put on a more open grippy hand on that side. So there's the hands, and we'll move on to the heads. So including the head that is currently on the body, there are 4 total heads. You can see here 2 of them look very, very similar, but there's one minor difference. So we'll start with this one here in the middle. This is sort of like his evil smirk face, which is the face I think I'm going to use in a lot of my posing and when he goes on the shelf, because it's so Kano. I absolutely love it. You can see his smirk coming up here. He's got his teeth painted in. Absolutely lovely head sculpt. I am a big fan of that one. This one next is just a yelly face, which again Kano is absolutely known for and is super classic, and I love that one as well. Now, you can see here that there is also another yelly face. This is exactly the same yelling face, except for one difference. He is missing the color in his eye, because he comes with a laser accessory. So you can see this side is meant to, oops, if we can focus on it here, there we go. This side is the side that pegs in to the eye socket, so you just shove it in there, and now he's rocking a laser out of his laser eye, which I think is a great addition. I've noticed on my copy, though, it can get a little floppy if you kind of shake it and move it around a little bit too much, so just be warned that it might not stay in there 100%, but yeah, I absolutely love that he comes with a big laser eye. It's nice and long, too, and again, I love being able to have accessories that showcase the characters' move sets, because they're all so unique and they're so much fun. So it's really great when we get a lot of that. And again, just like the hands, swapping out the head is very easy. It's on a ball joint here, so you just pop it off and then just slap on whichever other one you want onto the body, and you will have it. So yeah, you can see that very, very well. Love all of these head sculpts. They look absolutely fantastic. All right, and now we'll finally get to the big ones of Kano. He's got his knives. So you see he comes housed with 2 knives, one on each side in the sheaths. You can just pull those out and take a look at the blade here. Looks like a big old knife. I absolutely love it. It does seem fairly thin, so I would be careful with those because they seem very potentially prone to breakage, but you can put the knife in his hand upward like that, or if you want to give him sort of downward grip as well to hold like that for stabbing and whatnot, you can absolutely do that. I think it looks great either way, and Kano absolutely needs his knives, so he looks great having those. And speaking of the knives, he does also have, as you saw, 2 of these sort of effect or motion, I guess is a better word for them, motion knives. So you can use these obviously to replicate his throw, his knife throw special attack that he has, or you can even use it like it's a swinging, like he's actively swinging it and it's got a trail on it. So again, it's the same handle, so grip in there, and you get to sort of see how it would look if he is actively swinging it around at you or whatever. I think it's a really neat look. It's kind of, you see it's like blue with a little bit of white on there and some lines to sort of replicate the swinging motion. I think it's an absolutely fantastic look. It doesn't come with any stands or anything to hold these up if you're wanting to replicate a mid-air throw, so you have to get a little bit creative with that, but I think it's a great accessory. And along with the effect, the motion knives, he does come with this sort of electrified little electric piece that is vaguely in the shape of the blade handle. So if you wanted to maybe, it doesn't peg in or anything, you just kind of have to finagle with it if you want to get it used, but you know, you can use it to kind of amplify the top of the effect, or like if you just slash somebody, this is coming off that person's body, like it could rest you know, on the body like that. That's more so what it is meant for. You could rest it on the body like that as he's slashing them, so that as the knife is like coming down or through, that it's got that effect trail behind it, which I think is really neat. I do always like when they include effects that are like that. And to round off the accessories, of course, we do have his fatality accessory, which is none other than the Fatal Heart Rip. So he comes with this nice big blood splatter effect, which I do really like. Always love the blood splatter effects on the Mortal Kombat figures. And of course, he comes with the heart, which is, I will say, very well detailed. It looks very much like a realistic heart. And that's why I put this hand on there, is because this is the hand that you can use to sort of, if you get the resting, it's one of those pieces where you got to kind of find the angle. It doesn't like hold, like grip onto it, but if you find the right angle, there you go. You can get Kano lovingly looking at his heart that he has just fatally ripped out of somebody. So yeah, again, I always love how many accessories Storm includes with their figures, because again, like I said, it just gives a lot of variety, and these characters are all known for lots of special moves and fun fatalities, so it's always cool to see those replicated with the Storm figures. All right, so that's about going to wrap it up for the accessories. So let's go ahead and move on to articulation. And yeah, articulation is what you would expect from a Storm figure. He doesn't do anything new or crazy, but we'll of course cover it as always. So the head is on a ball joint. This works obviously with all the heads, so you can swivel it all the way around. You can get it tilting side to side. You can get it look up that far, down that far, and it's on that sort of extra double ball joint system in there, so you can get him looking down really, really far, and looking at up back. That does also work side to side. You can get him, you know, crunching kind of side to side in there. I always love the internal Storm Collectibles systems. I think they look fantastic. Arm here swivels all the way around. They go out that far. They're on butterfly joints to crunch in that far, crunch out backwards that far. Swivel here on the bicep only gets you about that far. It goes out, you know, fairly decently. Arms, of course, on the double elbow joint, as we've come to expect. Wrists are all on the swivel ball system. I never know what to call this, but it's got an up and down hinge on it, and it swivels like this, but you are also able to move the hinge whichever direction you would want it to go. It's the same style that's used on McFarlane. Of course, he does have upper ab rotation just a little bit. He's kind of blocked by the tunic. And then, of course, he does have a waist swivel that gets him going all the way around, crunching sideways, forward, back, all that sort of fun stuff. Legs are slightly restrained due to the way the tunic sits here. They go forward that far. They go backward about that far. They go out, not quite a full split, but it's not Johnny Cage, so I guess it's okay. And ever so slight swivel on the thigh, not really anything there. Knees go all the way on a double joint that far, and down to the feet, of course. Pivots down, pivots up, and tilts side to side with, there it goes, with a toe bend as well. So yeah, that is Kano's posability. Again, it's a very normal Storm posability level, but it always works out. You can always get some really incredible stuff out of it. So let's go ahead and get some comparisons here. All right, here's Kano with a fellow Black Dragon member, this one being Cabal. Obviously, this one is from the McFarlane line of figures, which seems to be dead. Both a blessing and a curse, in my opinion. But yeah, here's how they look together. Here's Kano with the standard MK1 ninja bodies. You can see he's a little bit taller. Obviously, this is sort of MK3 style Uno. Obviously, this is MK3 style Kano, so he's going to be a little bit size different, but I still think it all works together. All right, here is Kano with our most recent Storm Mortal Kombat figure up until Kano, that being Liu Kang, who I did mention in the review for him, seemed a little small, and yeah, he is a lot smaller in comparison to Kano. I don't know if this is accurate to the game. I'll have to go and research while I'm editing this. But yeah, you can see how they look. Just for fun, here is Kano with one of the bigger Storm Mortal Kombat characters, obviously this one being Kintaro. And, I mean, yeah, it's great. I love the Storm line. It's so much fun. All right, and that is going to do it for my full closer look at Kano. So, without further ado, mate, let's go ahead and toss it back up to me for my final thoughts. All right, so my final thoughts on Storm Collectibles Kano here is I think he is fantastic. Like I said up top, I did not expect to have this much fun. You can see kind of what I'm talking about with the way his shoulder thingy, or his tunic rises up a little bit there. Couldn't get it to show on camera when I was down there, but of course when I'm up here it is. And I think he's extremely fun. One or two minor gripes here or there. You know, the eye laser doesn't stay in very well. The tunic kind of seems a little puffy, but besides that, he is incredibly fun. I have had so much fun with all of his accessories and posing him with other figures. I threw some pictures up on Instagram a couple days ago, whenever this is going up, and he's so much fun, man. I'm having such a joy with him. And I actually got him from Toyco, Andrew Yen, on Facebook. I've been part of that group for a few years now. That's where I've been getting my Storm for the past few years. And I went out and visited his shop for the first time because I live only 45 minutes away from it. And Andrew's incredibly nice. So we had such a great conversation out there talking. I'm definitely going to go back to pick up some other stuff, hopefully in the near future. But yeah, that's Kano. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my full closer look review at Storm Collectibles Kano. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on this figure down below. Let me know if you have him already. Are you still waiting for him to arrive in your pile of loot or whatever you're waiting for? All that things. Let's talk about all things Storm Kano down below. And guys, we're now at the end of the episode, and as always, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. I do really, truly appreciate it. I've been your host, deceptibot9. Thank you for watching for another episode of deceptibot9 Reviews. I'll see you guys later.